Hello and welcome to WorldQuest. In today's video, I'll show you the 25 best places to visit in Europe. But before watching the video, do not forget to subscribe to our channel by clicking the subscribe button below and clicking the bell icon to be notified when we publish a new video. Americans used to take a few years to do the Grand Tour of Europe back in the day. They were on the right track. To properly enjoy everything that Europe has to offer, you need a lot of time. We must pick and select what we will see because the majority of us today only have a few weeks of vacation time each year. We can whittle down the list by geographic region or area of particular interest because there are so many outstanding destinations in Europe. We can always return to see new sites because it now only takes hours to get to Europe as opposed to the weeks it used to take our forefathers. 25. Vienna. The most enchanted city in Austria is Vienna. It is a city that evokes visions of exquisitely attired women waltzing to Strauss waltzes. It is a city where graceful white Lippizaners perform intricate dances around rings. You'll abandon your diet there in exchange for a piece of chocolatey Sachertorte. Be sure to take in a concert by the renowned Vienna Boys Choir, meander around the charming old town, and see the lavish Baroque Schönbrunn Palace, the medieval St. Stephen's Cathedral, the Imperial Holberg Palace, and more. 24. Stonehenge. When you gaze at Stonehenge, you can't help but be amazed at the perseverance of ancient man. About 3000 BC saw the beginning of construction on what were once burial grounds. A few hundred years later, massive monoliths weighing 25 tons were hauled 240 kilometers, 150 miles, to the location. There are currently 13 enormous rocks standing in a field close to Amesbury, however the actual number is unknown. The purpose of Stonehenge's construction is similarly unknown, however many people think it was erected in connection with ancient astrology. 23. Matterhorn. Egypt may have its pyramids, but the Matterhorn, a natural pyramid, can also be found in Italy and Switzerland. This well-known mountain is one of the tallest in Europe at 4,478 meters, 14,692 feet. The mountain has four equally rough faces. Since its first ascent in 1865, this renowned mountain has attracted a large following of climbers. In the summer, 150 people attempt to ascend it every day. Couch potatoes might be equally content to remain below and marvel at the summit's clouds-hiding game. 22. Plitvice Lakes. Because of how beautiful the Plitvice Lakes are, authorities designated them as a national park. Plitvice Lakes, a group of 16 lakes in central Croatia, welcomes over 1 million tourists each year. The lakes are joined by waterfalls that cascade down from one lake to another and are encircled by lush trees. Because of the difference in elevation, the lakes are split into lower and upper parts. Walking is the greatest way to explore the lakes, and you could even spot some wildlife along the way. 21. Budapest. When the Hungarians invaded in the 9th century, Budapest was a developed metropolis. Budapest is now both the nation's capital and largest city. Budapest was governed, among others, by the Mongols and the Ottomans between these two occasions. Budapest, one of Europe's most picturesque cities, is home to the Museum of Fine Arts, which has a collection of more than 100,000 pieces of art. Visit the Old Town, which is conveniently located and home to a number of museums, cathedrals, palaces, and the Parliament building. 20. Lisbon. Lisbon, the capital of Portugal, is located on the Tagus River near the Atlantic Ocean. In the 15th, 16th, and 17th centuries, this area inspired adventurers to sail far and wide around the globe. Belém Tower, a stronghold built in the 16th century on the north bank of the Tagus, is among the sights you should see. The Moors erected São Jorge Castle on a mountaintop to provide a good vantage point of medieval Lisbon. 19. Gullfoss. Most likely, you don't know many people who have visited Iceland. But a journey to see the magnificent Gullfoss waterfalls would be worthwhile. Gullfoss, which is situated in southern Iceland, is a popular tourist destination there. It is supplied by a glacier, thus at times it almost has a glacier-like appearance. The waterfall starts soon after the Fusa River makes a perpendicular curve and crashes into a 35-meter, 115-foot, deep gorge after descending a 3-step staircase. 18. Athens. The idea of democracy was introduced to the globe in Athens, a city that has been inhabited since the 5th century BC. Since this city serves as the administrative center for both Greece and ancient Europe. The Old Town, notably the area surrounding the Acropolis, is home to many of the city's most prominent landmarks. The Parthenon, which is perched atop the Acropolis, the Zeus Temple, the Dionysus Theatre, where Sophocles' plays were presented, and Hadrian's Arch are all on the list. 17. Bay of Kotar. Feast your eyes on Kotar Bay in southwest Montenegro when you're in the mood for breathtaking landscape. In this bay off the Adriatic, which is surrounded by mountains and has charming settlements nestled between cliffs and stunning blue water, the scenery is simply breathtaking. The bay is surrounded by a number of surviving medieval settlements. People travel here on pilgrimages to see the 200 Orthodox and 100 Christian churches and chapels dispersed across the villages, as well as to take in the beauty. 16. Moscow. The center of both Eastern Europe and Russia is Moscow, which has been the country's capital for 900 years. As a result, this historic city has a lot to offer tourists. Since many of the major sites in the city are located around Red Square, which dates back to the 15th century, let's start there. The Kremlin, a historic castle that now houses museums and the head of the Russian Federation, is a prominent landmark. The renowned St. Basil's Cathedral, which today serves as a museum, is on one side of the square, while Lenin's tomb is in the center. 15. Venice. Romantics who enjoy floating down the Grand Canal as a gondolier sings Italian love ballads should visit Venice. After all, it was from this city that Marco Polo set off on his expedition to China. San Marco Square, the city's most renowned square, is a great place to begin your journey of Venice. The Doge's Palace, the seat of Venetian administration, and St. Mark's Basilica, the city's largest church with breathtaking views from the tower, are both located in this area. Rialto and Size bridges that span the canals are among Venice's other well-known landmarks. 14. Monte Carlo. The capital of the tiny Principality of Monaco, Monte Carlo, is the place to go if you enjoy glamour and luxury. These attributes, which Monaco has long been renowned for, reached new heights when its prince adopted Grace Kelly as his princess. Monte Carlo, which is located on the Mediterranean coast, is well known for its upscale casino and fast automobile competitions. Take a stroll down the port to observe the wealthy and well yachts, known some of which are as large as ships. 13. Alhambra. One of Spain's architectural treasures is the Alhambra. It is a stunning palace-fortress complex located in the region of Andalusia in southern Spain's city of Granada. Although it was constructed on the remains of an ancient Roman garrison, this impressive structure was initially built as a modest fortress in the late 9th century. It is the location where Columbus received the green light to explore the New World after being seized by Christian powers. It is remarkable to see how different architectural styles have merged over the years. Great art and beautiful gardens may be found everywhere. 12. Florence. Florence may have prevented the Renaissance from occurring. With great artists like Michelangelo, Florence is often credited with bringing Europe out of the Dark Ages. You can view their creations at the Accademia, which houses the original David, or the Uffizi, Florence's largest gallery. While wandering across the Arno River's Ponte Vecchio, have a gelato. Visit the Pitti Palace to see the Medici family's extravagant wealth. Admire the innovative engineering that produced the magnificent Duomo. This is the best of Florence. 11. London. In London, history aficionados from England will be in their element. From Buckingham Palace to Hampton Court Palace, this city on the Thames is dotted with palaces. The royal jewels are kept at the Tower of London, which is more of a prison than a palace. The shopping is fantastic from Knightsbridge to Carnaby Street, and don't forget to check out the spectacular food courts at Harrods. Riding the renowned tube will allow you to go through London fast and effectively, but pay attention to the gap. 10. Neuschwanstein Castle. The Bavarian Alps Neuschwanstein Castle is properly described as a fairy tale castle. Some claim that Neuschwanstein served as inspiration for the castle in Disney's Sleeping Beauty, since its Romanesque revival castle from the 19th century appears as though it has just appeared in a fairy tale. King Ludwig II of Bavaria constructed the castle as a getaway because he thought it romanticized the Middle Ages. The white limestone that can be seen from a distance was added when the brick foundation of the castle was covered in rock. 9. Amsterdam. Amsterdam is a charming city distinguished by flowing canals flanked by tall, skinny row homes. Since Anne Frank penned her renowned diary in this city, it is imperative to see the home where she wrote. The Rijksmuseum, which houses many important European masterpieces, Rembrandt's residence, and the more contemporary Van Gogh Museum are just a few examples of the outstanding art that can be found in this Venice of the North. Visit the Heineken brewery during a break from sightseeing to learn about and taste Holland's beer. 8. Prague. Prague is regarded as one of the top tourist destinations in Europe despite its lengthy history of conflict and devastation. Prague features a really attractive old town that is worth more than a few hours of your time despite the destruction brought on by World War II. Walking in Prague is a thrill as you stroll through Prague Castle, through the Jewish Quarter, past St. Vitus Cathedral, and across the Charles Bridge thanks to the city's numerous pedestrian zones. The new town neighborhood's Wenceslas Square buzzes with a thriving nightlife and entertainment scene. 7. Istanbul. Istanbul may be on the periphery of Europe, but it is still worthwhile to see when you are abroad. The largest city in Turkey is a fascinating town with a rich past, vibrant markets, and mosques. The Bosporus, which connects Europe and Asia, the ecumenical Hagia Sophia, which was formerly an imperial mosque before becoming a museum, and the 15th century Topkapi Palace, which is now a museum, are among the city's top attractions. Shop a little in the Grand Bazaar, which has been open since 1461. 6. Grangerfjord. If the summertime heat in Europe is getting to you, consider traveling to Norway for its stunning countryside. The 15 kilometers (9.3 miles) long Grangerfjord has waters that are crystal blue and is fed by beautiful cascading waterfalls. Take a scenic ride through the fjord on a vehicle ferry, passing through the settlements along the shore. Watch out for the Seven Sisters and Suder waterfalls, which got their names from the folklore that states he is courting the sisters. Check out Bridal Veil as well. Under the correct lighting, it resembles a thin veil covering the rocks. 5. Barcelona. Barcelona, a thriving metropolis on the Mediterranean Sea, was founded by the Romans. It is a regional superpower because it is the capital of Catalonia. It is renowned for its distinctive structures, many of which were created by Antoni Gaudí. La Sagrada Familia, a church that has been under construction since 1892, is one of these iconic buildings. You could plan your entire trip around his structures, but you'd miss out on other highlights like La Rambla, a bustling pedestrian boulevard in the heart of Barcelona. 4. Dubrovnik. Dubrovnik isn't extremely big compared to other European cities, but don't let that stop you from visiting. One of the most popular tourist destinations in the Mediterranean is this tiny gem, which has less than 43,000 residents. Visitors can travel back in time to a time when Dubrovnik, a fortified city, was a significant maritime force and commanded the third largest navy in the Mediterranean. You'll probably see statues of Saint Vallejo, the city's patron saint, as you walk the streets because his life is commemorated every February. 3. Santorini. Take yourself to the Aegean island of Santorini when you're ready to unwind. When you visit, you'll understand why this place is regarded as a top vacation spot by leading travel publications. A live volcano, picture postcard villages, and breathtaking sunsets can all be found on the island. Visit the village of Fyra, which is set on a cliff. Wines like the dessert wine Vincanto and produce that is sweeter and tastier due to the soil's volcanic ash content should also be tried. 2. Paris. Songs praise Paris in the spring, but you can visit this fascinating city on the Seine at any time of year. It is a city bursting at the seams with culture, history, delicious food, and cutting-edge clothing. You won't want to miss seeing the famous Eiffel Tower. One of the largest art collections in the world is located in the Louvre. Notre Dame and Sacred Heart are two of its magnificent churches. There is nothing more opulent than Versailles and its renowned Hall of Mirrors. 1. Rome. Up until Great Britain, the Romans had outposts all over the world. However, they didn't neglect their hometown when it came to edifice construction. The Colosseum, an arena that could accommodate up to 80,000 spectators for gladiator fights, is one must-see landmark. The Vatican metropolis, a tiny nation inside the city, is one of the main attractions. Its stunning St. Peter's Basilica, which features artwork by Michelangelo, is a must-see even if you aren't Catholic. The Pope's Wednesday audiences may give you a chance to catch a peek of him. We have reached the end of our video. Check out our description, there I have linked you some suitable products for you when you want to learn more about that topic. Also, please like the video and leave a comment below. Subscribe to WorldQuest and I'll see you in the next video.